Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a quick look at LRC, and just before we do, we're going to peek over Bitcoin, kind of see what's going on with it. And what it's basically doing is it's consolidating right around 58,000. It broke above, hasn't closed above yet, so we want to keep this in mind. We want the one-day candlestick to close above 58,000. We should be able to establish that as a support level. But for right now, we're looking all in all okay. The price tried to go up to about 58.8 and has since retraced. So not terrible. We did have a bullish pennant pattern, or bull flag rather, that went ahead and broke to the upside. So mostly good stuff here for Bitcoin. We can't expect anything less than a slight correction right now, right? Another thing to note also too is that we are above the 50-day simple moving average, all good things. We are below the 200, however, which is reiterating the fact that 60/61,000 is a strong resistance channel. We've also got a tremendous amount of volume accumulation there, and the one day gives us the 50-day simple moving average as a potential resistance as well. So minus that sentiment, 60 to 61,000 is a resistance channel, whereas 58,000 should be a support channel. We'll find out here soon where the one-day candlestick closes. So taking a look at LRC, and just before we do, just want to kind of specify, not a financial advisor by any stretch of the imagination, but I do love teaching and helping people become better traders. I've been trading for over 15 years. My goal is to help you become a little bit better each and every time you watch my videos, right? It's not going to happen overnight. Trading takes a long time to evolve, but I do have an opportunity where you can join my community. Link in the description below for that. December 1st is open enrollment, and what that'll allow for us to do is essentially just provide you with a really awesome collaborative environment to learn a lot. And also bear in mind too, I have signals that I send out for every single trade that I take. You can choose to follow or not, but you actually get to learn how to structure your trades because I do this every single day for a living. Okay, so just bear that in mind. So taking a look here at Loopring, we have the price doing all in all okay, right? It came up, came down, but the key takeaway here is that we are, struggling to doji candle, but we're still in the incline, right? We've had 3 days of bullish momentum. Yes, it's very slow, not quite what we're used to, but I think that'll continue, and we'll see what we mean by that. But right now, we're right smack dab in the middle of 50 and 70, right around 60 RSI. That's a perfect place to be. All good things here on the one-day chart. There's literally nothing here that I can see that's bearish, because the fact of the matter is we're over 50 on the RSI, and that's the key takeaway here. The MACD doesn't really matter all that much. What's more important is to look at the MACD on the 4-hour chart and kind of see. And it does look like it's pretty much, they're just kind of drawing dead or kind of just running concurrent with each other. So we had a recent MACD convergence that drove the price up. And then, of course, it's retracing a little bit since there's a correction in the market. But it's basically just working itself into a smaller pattern. And that isn't necessarily a bad thing. We usually see breaks to the upside when that happens. Again, we'll look at that closer here, but if you look at the 50-day simple moving average, it's kind of working tentatively as a resistance, but it was previously a support. It sold off a little bit here in the recent past, but I think that's most likely because Bitcoin just sold off, good 1% in a short amount of time. That has a tendency of affecting coins like this that have become fairly reliant on Bitcoin's success, because Loopring, whether we like to admit it or not, has been following Bitcoin moderately. Not 100%, totally, don't get me wrong, this is not the same Bitcoin movement, but when Bitcoin did well, Loopring did well, and when Bitcoin's been doing poorly, generally you could say that the same thing's happening right now. So anyways, that's just kind of the general sentiment there. That isn't good nor bad, it just kind of is what it is. But the good news here is the 200-day simple moving average is working its way up. That'll slowly drive the price action up higher, and that's also going to reaffirm the fact that we have a strong support at about 215 as a close approximate, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at the 1 hour and see what's going on here. A little bit shorter time frame. So we can see we have a higher low. That's good news. And as long as this doesn't go much lower than where it's at presently, we could develop a new higher high. Okay, that would be ultimately what we're looking for. So, not terrible, not great. I don't see any like significant bullish patterns here that are forming, but I can tell you that this is, I would say more on the bullish side than the bearish side overall, based on being up over 50 on the RSI and the higher lows effectively being created right now. Okay, time will tell, but we can see that it did create a little bit higher high as well in the general sense of the big picture here. So all in well, we're looking good. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the Ishimoku cloud and see what's going on here. Now this is a good sign. We're back up above the cloud. We like to see that. That's very healthy. That's normal. Basically just means that we have potential bullish sentiment here. But keep in mind too, we have conflicting information, whereas the lagging span is intersecting with the price action soon. Unless the price shoots straight upwards right now, which I doubt it will happen, we should see that intersect, and that basically is not a buy signal, right? Furthermore, not a buy signal is the fact that the the baseline is higher than the conversion line. We don't want to see that as well. We want the inverse, of course, more like a MACD convergence where you got the faster moving average intersecting with the slower on this way up. We want that to happen too, and we don't have that here. So it's not exactly a great buy signal. Now, big picture, dollar cost average all you want, right? Because if Loopring is your coin that you want to invest in, I'm confident we're going to see the price continue to increase throughout the rest of this year. How far it will go and how soon is hard to say specifically. We can kind of estimate here, of course, but we shouldn't expect Loopring just to ramp up and take off. It doesn't have that specific sign yet, if that makes any sense. We also have kind of a reset here from TD sequential. We hit a 9. Now we're going sideways. So consolidation is expected. We may even see an increase here perhaps in the near future. But all in all, not a tremendous amount of, I guess you could say, direction one way or the other. Loopring is effectively consolidating, which is standard and normal. So until I see, my personal opinion here with Loopring is that when the fear is great for Bitcoin, Loopring doesn't do very well. And in that sense, right now, there's still a fearish market, if you will, even though Bitcoin has recovered to 58,000 from 53.3. That's all well and good. That's very good. That's a significant increase, 5, 6, 7% is nice. However, Loopring has not yet proven that it can ramp up. Yes, it did very well yesterday when Bitcoin was doing well, but as soon as Bitcoin started to consolidate, Loopring started to retrace. So that is kind of almost an inverse pairing in a sense, where sometimes these coins do have a tendency of going down when Bitcoin goes up, and a lot of it just has to do with the overall sentiment, right? If Bitcoin can continue to improve and get some stability, we're going to be fine. It's that knee-jerk reaction that happens when Bitcoin sells off, 2 or 3% in a 30-minute period. That tends to scare some folks, and first thing they do is they go to their more profitable coins like this one, and they withdraw some of their percent, if not all of their portfolio, and effectively buy in later when it's lower. Okay, so we're seeing something like that. Again, all in all, I do think big picture, I'm still bullish on the macro for LRC, but the micro, I can tell you, we're probably going to see it work within these channels of somewhere between just say 280 and upwards of maybe 320 as a better case scenario for the immediate near future. Okay, I do think we're going to see that change in the future as well, but right now we kind of got this little reset. The Ichimoku cloud was looking good here, but we got rejected by the cloud and the price came back down. Even though we're above the cloud, we don't have that firm confirmation it's going to take off. We need a little bit more time. So this is still a good coin. It's going to take a moment to mature, if that makes any sense. And what we want to see from Bitcoin is some stability between 58 and 60,000 over the next week, and then break 60,000 to just shoot right up to like 62 or 63, and then hold, close out on the one-day candlestick, and coins like this will start to take off. So dollar cost average, I guess, is the best way to anticipate this or to approach this, because a little bit at a time is perfectly fine. I've been doing that with Bitcoin and Ethereum when it got closer to 53,000, and the same thing with Ethereum at 4,000, right? You can do the same thing here as well. The price is still very affordable compared to where it could be. Speaking of where it could be, let's go ahead and talk about that just really quick, because I get this question a lot. What's the potential? And based on the movement from Loopring, right, from the 17th to the 25th, that's roughly 8 trading days, we saw an increase of almost 80%. Okay, that's a pretty good amount of increase. We're going to expect that same amount of increase from where we're at presently. That would put us somewhere in the range of, let's see, it would put us right at about a 60% growth, upwards about 467. So 467, I would say, is likely within the next week or two. By year end, which seems like it's a long time away, it's only about a month away, we could likely see, of course, 572 as a better case scenario. Okay, so again, that's not too bad. That's almost, in a sense, 2x from right where we're at right now. Okay. In fact, that might even be right around there. It's about 95% increase. Okay, so you invest a decent amount right now at 280, you're going to be in pretty good shape if we hit $5.72. And that's very likely by year end, just based on its history. As long as we can get some steady behavior from Bitcoin, I think we're going to be okay. All right, so that's kind of where we're at there. Hopefully you found this beneficial. If so, great, like, subscribe. Feel free to reach out to me through social media. And of course, consider joining my Patreon community, open enrollment December 1st. Looking forward to getting to know you better and helping you out if that is the case. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.